What's up, guys? Good morning, and thank you all for your support. So, let's see what's going on here. I see Kim's talking about something with the 2017 chart. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. First, I want to ask you guys a question. According to my beliefs, what I always talk about, it's all in the charts, not to pay attention to the news or whatever. So what are charts based on? Does anybody know? Can you hear me? Patrick said human psychology. It's human emotion. That's what charts are based on. That's why I say that the news doesn't matter. None of it matters. That's why patterns play out repeatedly. That's what fractals are. It's all human emotion. Humans always react the same. It's never going to change. It never has changed. But that's what makes the charts move, is human emotion. And the big players know that, and they play on the emotion. So anyways, the market does what it does. Some days it gives you ice cream. Other days it puts you over its knee and gives you a spanking. Savy's TA helps you get a bit more ice cream. Right on. So anyways, let's take a look at what's going on with the charts. As you guys know, I think that B may have completed up here. We could be working on 2. Now, there is a way to, once this is topped out, we may go a little bit higher. We talked about that in yesterday's video. But what I want to explain here is we're looking for 5 waves down for the B wave. And if you guys remember back in May how we watched this, I'm going to play that video just so you guys understand what I'm about to go through and tell you about, and how to confirm that we are in wave 2. There will be a bounce point that could be bullish, just like there was over here. Now let's go into right here. This was the top at 63 before we confirmed the wave 3. This was the bullish case, which will go into on the wave count right now for our 5 waves down to try to explain what we're going to be looking for. So just listen to this real quick. This would have been the bullish case scenario. Get this as a wave 3 of wave 3, this being 4, and we have 5 up. We talked about this being an ABC possibility. That 41.6 is the area to hold. If this does not hold, I'll show you the bearish case after this. But in the bullish case, so what I was talking about here is we were looking at this as an ABC after that top here. If we got our bounce, a good bounce, and didn't go below this number here, and this is the 1-to-1 extension. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So if this is to hold up here for the next week or so, we could be going up for one more 5th wave to the second. Oh, so before I go any further, somebody asked, how do you put the golden pocket on the fibs? Well, I'll remind me in a second, and I'll show you that after we go through this. 72 to 77,000 range. That is the bullish case scenario. So that was the bullish case. If we didn't break that 1-to-1 extension, which I will show you on the chart where we're at now, but then we went into the bullish case, and listen closely, guys. Let's take a look at the bearish case. So look at the bearish case, or the bearish. Instead of this being an ABC, this could be a 1, 2, 3 coming down. And if that's the case, wave 3. So we were talking about breaking this 41.7, which was the 1-to-1 extension of an ABC correction. Once that broke, then we were looking for the 1.618, which is the golden pocket zone, the 1.618 fib. Is around the 30,500 is the, and if we look at that, let me remind you, this was on May 18th, right? So if we go to the chart, that was my wave count, and we went to 30,000, what was it? Around 28.8. So we were damn close on that wave 3 bounce. Yeah. So anyways, once we broke that, we considered this wave 3, and then we were looking for 4 up and then 5 down. So let's go back to the video. The measured If we take the Fibonacci retracements or extension, I'm not going to do that in this video, but that would put wave 3 down here to that 29 to 30,000 range. Then we might get a wave 4 up to 41 to the 46 range, and then wave 5 coming down to wave 23. Now that makes this, so that's what we talked about there. Now there was an invalid, and we're going to talk about all this in the waves that are happening now. So if we look at this, and we're looking for the wave 3 down here, let's look at what would have invalidated that. If 4 would have went above wave 1, that invalidates the wave count, and that's what we were talking about right here. Wave 1 was at 47.1. Now we looking for a 4. If the 4 would have went up past that 4, that would have invalidated the bearish count, but it did not invalidate it. So let's look at where we're at now. And if this is the 2 wave, which we had over here, let me go back to this chart, might make it a little easier. So anyways, this is some other stuff I'm looking at, and we'll take a look at that later on. But if you also look here, this whole move right here, the volume was on the decline, this whole move up, which was the distribution pattern that we called out. Now, if you look at what's going on now, the same thing, distribution pattern, looking to turn around. Now, what we're looking for is wave 2. We could go up a little bit higher. Let me pull up the chart from the other day, or from yesterday. And that was the measured moves of this right here to the 49.51, but it did break out a little bit later. So if we put that to where it broke out, it actually gets us to about 49.1, 49.2. Look for a rejection there, 49.1 or 49.2. I will be adding my shorts in there, so you guys know. Even if it goes up higher, I'll add up here. Now this wave 2 invalidates if we pass this 50, what is this? 50, let's just say 53,000. If it passes the 53,000, that invalidates wave 2. And as you guys know, the only way I would get bullish is if we break this green trend line. Until then, I remain bearish, looking for short opportunities. So anyways, let's get into the wave count here. So let's just say that we get up to that 49.1 or whatever. And again, we could go higher. We could go to that 51,000 area. But let's say we break, let's say we topped here. This is to show you guys how to get, oh, before I do that, sorry guys, I'm jumping all over. But somebody asked, how do you get the golden pocket zone in there? Well, if you open up your Fib extensions, or whichever you're using, if you're looking for the retracement, you open up your Fibonacci retracement, you go into the settings, and you put in your 0.618 and your 0.65, and then I made them both the same color so it would show the golden pocket. That's how I did it. The golden pocket is between the 0.618 and 0.65, so you guys know. All right, back to this. So let's say we get up to that 49.2, right? And that's wave 2. So that would get us to 49.2, right in this range. Let me get this out of the way for now. So if we get up to that 49.2, we'll be looking for, now this will be the invalidation point, the 1-to-1 extension, which is 39.230. If we get a bounce from there, then this could be just a wave 1, 2, and then we look at a bullish case scenario. But if we do pass that 39.2, just like I showed you in this video over here, if we pass that 41.7, that we would be in wave 3. Well, we will be looking at the same thing here. And if that's the case, let's do some measurements and I'll show you how I get this stuff. All right, so you know what? I'm going to keep this here. I don't want to mess this chart up. I don't like changing my charts. Let's see right here. I'm going to go into a fresh chart to show you guys that. And I hope you don't get too confused. And then I'll get into the chat and chat with you guys a little bit. But let's go into a fresh chart. Let's go ahead and use this one here. All right, so let's put the Fibonacci retracements on there. And I'll show you over here first how we're looking at this one. So if we use our Fibonacci extension and you go from the top of wave 1 to the bottom of wave 1, or the bottom of wave 2, I'm sorry, right here. And then you go to the top of 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can see that 0.618 right here was our wave 4. And then we had our ABC, which was, I'm sorry, guys, 1, 2, here, let me put it in there. So this was 1, 2, and if we would have got a bounce off that 1-to-1 extension right here at that 41.6, that would have been an ABC. But since we broke that, that got us down to our 0.618 right here. And then we got our bounce right here for wave 4. And then we got a slightly lower low right there for our wave 5. And then we get A, B, C. And now I think we're working on 5 waves down. So an ABC correction is 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves, right? So let's get that off of there. And we'll do the same thing right over here. Hopefully this is helping you guys out. But we're going to assume it goes to that 49.2 range, right? So this will be wave 1. Let's go to 49.2. Go to 49.250. All right, so again, we haven't confirmed wave 2 yet, but let's say we get up that 49.2 and it's confirmed it gets the rejection there. So then what we would be looking for, there's wave 1. This would be wave 2. We'd be looking for, if it's a ABC and we go up higher, 39.50 is where we should get the bounce. Now, if it breaks past there, we are in wave 3, going to at least that 1.618, which is at 32.750. And then we would probably get a wave 4, which would, let's get this stuff off there. We'll find out where wave 4 would be. And there is a high volume node here. Let's see if that matches up with a fib. And whoops. Now for that, we go from the top of wave 2 to the bottom of wave 3, the fib retracement, because that would be the last wave there. So 49.2 down to wave 3. So wave 4, let's say wave 4 could go as high as, now if you have a deep retracement in wave 2, then you won't have as deep of a retracement wave 3. But let's say the 0.382, which is around 39,000. So let's say we get our bounce there. And like I said, once we confirm wave 2, we'll know where wave 3 is going, most likely. All right, and then we take our Fibonacci extension again. Right here, we go from that top of wave 2, which is at 49.2, to the bottom of wave 3, which is around 32.6, 32.7, to the top of wave 4. And if we got down to the, now remember, the last 5th wave got just below that, so 32 or whatever. But we can get an extended 5th or whatever, but that'd get us around 28. But a lot of times this wave 3 can be a lot more volatile and a lot more extended. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. That will, as you can see, this 4 and 5 here would be confluent in these areas, but I still believe it's going to be more like this ABC here, where we get a much longer downside for C. Let's go over to, let's look at what other charts we got to look at here. And as you guys know here, we're looking at pretty much the same exact pattern playing out. We could be in this first little bump right here. So we could get another rise here, one more rise up, back up to that 50,000, 51,000 range. That is still possible. So be aware of that. This will be validated if we cross this 52.6 area by Monday. And I'm going to take a look at traditional charts too. We'll see what's going on with traditional markets. I do think the Dow could be in huge trouble, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. We talked about it a little bit in yesterday's video, but the same thing. We're just volumes declining as prices rising. But if you look right here, I'm going to shrink this up a little bit. If you look right here, this fractal is almost playing out perfectly also, where we had our dip below, which was wave 1. And then we came up for our wave 2 all the way up in here and then broke back down. So we could get back up into this range for wave 2 and then continue back down. So just showing you guys what I'm seeing in the charts. So this is the video from yesterday. Like I said, that was our first target. Our second target would be looking at this whole thing as a flagpole, and we take that measured move, getting us to around the 51.3 range. So again, that's possible. I'm still in my short. If those of you that follow the channel know I've been short for quite a while. I shorted a bunch. I laddered in a bunch of shorts that equaled out to around 51,100. I took my initial investment and my gain, 50% of my gains out at 44, so I'm way ahead on that trade. And right now I'm still averaging about 50,500 for my short. So like I said, I will be adding if we get up into this area, and I will add again if we get up into this area. I am on 5x leverage. No matter what, I can't lose from when I started the trade. So just be careful if you guys are trading here, because it is the weekend, obviously. And this was the other thing we were looking at, the ABC possibility. And again, if this is wave 1, 2, then 3 will be much further down. If this is an ABC correction, we would be looking around 38.7 to 39,000 for the bounce. But let's take a look at, there was another chart in here. Let me see if I can find it. I was looking at the comparisons of where we're at now. Here it is. So right here, same thing. This is in the 4-hour chart. And if you look, it's almost a perfect fractal. And on the wave 2, we did not come up and retest over here, just like we're doing now. Although we did make a higher high in the price action right up here, and we made a lower high in the RSI, which is bearish divergence. We talk about that all the time on this channel. That gave us our wave 3 dump. So if that's the case here, we're getting a higher high right now with a lower high on the RSI, which is bearish divergence. So this could be the turnaround point right here. So be careful, guys. But this wave 3, when it does take place, will be pretty violent like it was over here. So a wave 3 is always, if you know anything about Elliott wave, wave 3 is often the biggest, but often the longest, but never the shortest wave. So if you have a shorter wave 3 in your count and it's shorter than wave 1 and wave 5, you're counting wrong. That unless it's an ending 5th wave diagonal. Why don't you use log scale? Because I don't use log scale. I mean, I look at log scale for super long term, not this stuff. But if you want to look at the log, I have some log charts over here. And guys, don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. A lot of cool stuff on there. She can make literally anything you want on any of this stuff she lists. Definitely go through there, see if anything interests you. Great gift ideas and other stuff. There's also a Bitcoin section. But anyways, so here's my log chart on the daily, and we've been talking about this quite a bit. We have our fib channels in here, which are working out beautifully. And as you guys know, my parabolic arcs, every time we've broken them, we've began a bear market. Back over here, once we broke it, began a bear market. This is why I believe we were in a bear market. We broke this parabolic trend. But I did draw this blue line in there for all of you bulls out there. But if once this blue line's broken, there's no way the bulls can continue being bullish at that point. It just would not make sense. And if you zoom in here, this does look like an awful lot like a head and shoulders forming here. There's a head, this being the left shoulder, and the measured move of that would be approximately, somewhere in the 34,500 area. But once we drop below that blue trend line, like I said, guys, I think it's over for the bulls. Dear Savvy, thanks for all your wise lessons. If I lived in the U.S., I would bring you a hug. I shorted at 52,000 and made my first big trade. Right on, Janet. Good deal. So let's get into the chat here for a minute. Thanks for your time. Awesome content. Thanks a lot, Jason. I appreciate that. Oh, the Dow chart. Yes, we will look at that. So this is what I'm looking at on the Dow here. We have actually broken this trend line. If we zoom in here, we've been talking about this for the last week or so. We did pierce past it. Once we do that, it's pretty much confirmation that this thing is going to break here. May get another bounce next week before the break, but it's very possible. We open up Monday and we'll be, let's zoom in here. Let me make sure these lines are pretty accurate. So this one has to be raised up a little bit to get it more accurate here, right about there. So we've already been piercing this, and yep, if we look at where we're going to open on Monday, that's going to be below this trend line. We closed below it. May get a little tiny push up Monday, but it looks like that's going to be where the Dow starts dropping pretty heavily, guys. So be careful. Monday is probably going to be very bloody for all markets except the dollar. If you guys know me, I've been bullish on the dollar, and if you look at it, it is moving beautifully. That starts trading again Sunday. Watch it. I have made, looking at this falling wedge on the RSI, you can do this on the RSI now. You take this measured move from the widest point of the wedge and you put it to where it broke out. We've done that plenty of times on this channel. It plays out beautifully, but this would be a good spot for a, not so much a reversal on the dollar, but at least the RSI will probably start resetting there. We may get some sideways action, possibly a small little retrace, and then boom, another big blast off up for the dollar. If you watched my channel for any time, you know I've been extremely bullish on the dollar for a long time. And I talked about being bullish on the dollar for the next year or so. If you look at, where is it? Right here, I have the dollar index over the Bitcoin chart. And if you guys watch, you know that every time the dollar tops on this top trend line, Bitcoin has bottomed. This was March 2020. This was December 2016. Both times the dollar hit up here, the Bitcoin has bottomed. And every time the dollar bottoms on this bottom trend line, Bitcoin has topped. So my next big buy area for Bitcoin is when the dollar gets up into this area, depending on what's going on, of course, at that time. Gold, you guys know my picture on gold. That has not changed. I know everybody was extremely bullish here on gold, but we've had this drawn in since way back here in May when we were looking at everything else. I see a big bear market coming in traditional markets. And for those of you who watch the channel know that when the Dow and everything else, the traditional markets crash, gold, silver, everything else crashes with it except for the dollar. And silver has almost hit our 21,838 target, and we've had that target since way back here. I think I made that target when we broke here at 2611. We did get our pump up to retest here, but I do think we're headed down to that area. If that breaks, the next stop's 20. And after that, if we are in a big bear market, like I believe we are, we could be looking for a $13 silver again. Litecoin, you guys know my projection on Litecoin. It's not very pretty. Same thing with Ethereum, looking for at least this 1400 area, but I think it could go much lower if the markets play out like I expect. But again, there's no guarantees in any markets, and I will never tell you guys when to buy, when to sell, when to short, when to long. I'll tell you what I'm doing, but you got to make up your own mind. And I'm hoping that you're learning from what I'm putting out these videos. How lucky am I to be coming out of the 3rd month BTC stake today? Looking at it, the 3rd month BTC stake. Right on, D-Man. I mean, the DXY will reach 103. Let's kind of look at the DXY, and as you can see right here, DXY is making a big W. I'm not a fan of W's and M's, but those of you that are, that's pretty obvious what's going on here. Yeah, I think it'll go up to at least that 103 range. If we go back over here, let me see if it's on my weekly. No, I think I took them off here. I had some wedges drawn in here. But basically, we are right in this area here. Right here. Right now. Once we break back above this 200 EMA, we're going up. It'll possibly be much higher. If we put a trend line across here, again, this is the weekly on the DXY. We're most likely going to be coming up to test this area within the next year, maybe 2. But that would get us a target for the DXY. And then we're going to go back to the other chart and look at that also. That would get us somewhere in around the 108 range. Let's go back over to this chart. And yeah, that would put us back up into this range here. So, yep, that's what I'm looking at. If it does, then when? It could be a year or more, Kamal. It's we look at the dollar in the big chart. Mr. T, thanks. Not sure how to reply to a comment. What do you think of the pi cycle top indicator? Yeah, we've looked at that. We had that back here. Let me see, which chart was it on? Right here, we had that on this one. It called the top right along with what I was calling. It seems to be a pretty accurate indicator, although I think it was only made back here. So a lot of these, just like stock to flow, that was created in 2018. It's not like it predicted anything yet. I don't believe in the stock to flow model. That's assuming that Bitcoin is rare and nobody's selling. Guys, when people sell, that's why I don't like on-chain. On-chain will only tell you people sold after the dump. It's not going to tell you that they're gonna sell. It's on-chain is garbage. Period. I have a question regarding parabolic bands. All right, what's your question, Akash? Is BTC below 10K still valid? Yes, it's definitely a possibility. Still, definitely. Do you think it's a good idea to buy some altcoins? Right? I don't mess with altcoins. That's my personal preference. Guys, I make enough money trading Bitcoin where altcoins, it's just other stuff I would have to watch. I like my free time. I make plenty of money trading Bitcoin. I have plenty of free time because I'm not staring at the charts all day. And that's the way I choose to have it. September, October, usually a rough time for traditional markets. Downward action is imminent. Crypto will follow. I'd be shocked to see price action go up much more. The bull trap, right on. Right on, Victor. Do you think a macro triangle is in play? Yeah, we've talked about that, and I have that that chart right here. Like I said, if this goes back down to this area and the 5 waves get us back down here, we may just do another ABC, and I'll show you what that would look like on the macro right here. So if we had our 5 waves down, 3 waves up, and then we could get 5 waves down again, another 3 waves up, 5, and then 3 waves down, and just like it did over in here, and then we get a dump right here, and that could get us way down into that 9.5 range that we've talked about a million times. Bitcoin likes to top like this. It's done it in 2017 and 18 here. It done it in 2019, and I think it's doing it again. Rander, amazing, my bear man. Any thoughts on when will alts top? Usually after BTC tops, all tops after a few weeks, in your opinion, please. That's how it's happened in the past. Doesn't mean that's how it's going to happen now. But if you look at Bitcoin topped back here, all the altcoins other than, and you guys got to remember, there's different hype coins every cycle. They'll disappear next cycle. They'll be gone. There'll be new hype coins. You got to be careful with that stuff. But Bitcoin topped here. Alts have all made new all-time highs other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, which they don't have to. Cycles are going to change, guys. But yeah, I still believe truly that the top was in over here. We are in a bear market. It's just figuring out how this is going to play out here. Could there ever be a shortage of particular coin, or is it all hype? I mean, literally, it's all hype. If you think about it, if Bitcoin is really super rare, then it wouldn't matter, and big money would just buy tons right now and just hold them because they're going to be super rare. But you got people like people like Michael Saylor, which is the absolute worst guy in the markets. Either he's very smart and he gets people to buy into his stock by going on a hyped thing like Bitcoin, and then he dumps his own stock on people, or he's just a FOMO buyer dum-dum. This the only two options there is. He did get busted for fraud back here in the .com bubble. He did the exact same thing. He looks for things that are trending, and like I said, either he's FOMOs in and just puts everything on it and is dumb and loses a lot of money, or there's something else behind it, like he is just getting people to buy into his company, and then the CEOs, the big guys in his company, dump on him, just like Bitcoin. I think they're dumping Bitcoin on people. Yeah, he says he keeps buying and buying and buying, but now he's made another company where he's been putting the Bitcoin in so he doesn't have to report when he sells. Be careful. That guy is a fraud, in my opinion. You can go back to, let's do a Google search. Michael Saylor 2000.com. Right. There's some trying to find right. Nope. Where is it? I'm trying to find right here. The $1 Billion Losers Club. This is some facts. Oh, wait a minute. Akash, Savvy, a question. The last parabolic band for bearish case is shorter than the previous two, so that's fine. I'll talk about that in a second. But if you want to read this article, I'm going to put it in the chat, and you guys can check it out. It'll tell you a lot about Michael Saylor right there. He's a dum-dum or a very smart con. It's the only two options. So the parabolic bands. Okay, let's take a look at them. If I can find the chart. Oh, this is another thing right here. The NVT is dropping below the signal line in the daily. That was yesterday, so very bad look for that. Every time we do that, Bitcoin has a huge drop. Just another thing confirming things aren't all peachy and happy in Bitcoin land. So where's my parabolic arcs? Somewhere. Did I lose them? Here they are. So let's see. It is shorter, but like I said, cycles are changing. Let's take a look at this one. Let's just measure the time frame. Blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't matter because we're going off the lows, and that's what forms it. And that's a lot. I believe a lot of people are just have a lot of hope that Bitcoin will just keep continuing. So 832 bars, that's 832 days from this first touch to where it broke. It's actually less than that. It was 824 days. Now let's take a look at this one here. How long did that take? Almost 1,100 days. Let's see where we're at now. From the first touch to where it broke, 884 days. So it's pretty damn close to this one here. So no, it's not shorter every time. Guys, I will only tell you what I'm seeing on this channel. I'm not going to hype stuff up, or all I do is read the charts and I tell you how I read them, and hopefully you'll learn to do that. But I'm just showing you lots of proof in the charts that we're most likely in a bear market. I could be wrong. Don't listen to these guys. You see all the news, all BS, just like most shit on all the other news. Exactly. If you see it on the news or in articles, that's just what they want you to see to control your emotion so they can take your money. I mean, that's all. That's it. Right on, Shivam. Well, that's what I'm looking at here, guys. So I hope that helps out a little bit. I hope you've learned something today. Can the members videos reviewed on YouTube later? Yes, they can be reviewed. You can find them in there. You should be able to just type in members in the search on the YouTube channel. I did create a members playlist today, but it only has this one on it so far. I got stuff to do. We have a wedding to go to today, so if I think about it, maybe tomorrow or sometime next week, I'll put all the members video in that, so it'll help out. My to-do list for next week: go to the bank, short the Dow, short crypto, long the dollar, then super chat savvy. Right on, Victor. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm showing you what I'm seeing. So anyways, have a great day, guys. Have a great Saturday. I hope you all have a great weekend. I will see you in tomorrow's members only chat. And again, I want to tell you guys, I really do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Thanks a lot. One more question. All right, Kamal. One question. What is it? One question. Dow Jones crash target. Well, I think it'll be much, I think it'll get really ugly, but the target from this drop, and again, it's not going to go straight down in one candle, guys. This will take time, but the target from this drop will be somewhere in the range of there. Although I think it'll be much worse in the longer term, but that's what I'd be looking at here. So, I mean, you could look at it here too. We could draw a trend line off of these. Whoops. We could draw a trend line right off of these here. And we could look at that as already broken. We could go off this top here, go down to here, put this in, and that would get us all the way down to like 21, which is very possible. That would be this old support. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. I hope you learned something. Like I said again today, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to check out my wife's webpage. And like I said, Prime XBT, you can check out my video, my tutorial on that on the web, on my YouTube channel. And you can get a 50% bonus on whatever you deposit into your trading account to use towards your margin. So if you put in 1 Bitcoin, you can get in 50% bonus by using my promo code SAVVY50, and SAVVY25 will get you 25% off of your trading fees definitely check it out. And I show you in this video where to put the promo codes and stuff. So definitely worth checking out, guys, if you are into trading. If not, then yeah. Thanks, guys. I'm out of here.